Welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back for another BoshNRoll Legacy video. Today, at the request of Patreon subscriber Rob, I am playing Esper BOWMASTERS. Esper was the first flavor of Bowmaster that I played once Bowmaster was available to me on Magic Online. There's a very different version of that available from about a month ago if you're interested. This one is pretty cool. It's, dare I say, lower to the ground, and also more all in. Like, for Cabal therapy is a statement. This is a person who wants their opponent empty at all times. The win conditions in this deck are basically Bowmasters and Grief. There's a 1 Snapcaster and 4 Staff of the Storyteller. There's nothing like Minsk and Boo or 4th Aerolingus or anything coming to save you. You got to do this 1 to 3 points at a time. But the scam package, and what I mean by the scam package, is pitching a black card to Grief and then reanimating it all on turn 1. That can collapse the hand pretty hard and then get you ahead. That is card neutral. You lose the black card you pitch and the reanimate, and you get to keep the Grief. And they lose 2 cards. Pretty powerful start, but you do need to back it up. And Staff of the Storyteller, heck of an engine. We've kind of seen it fall off since Bowmasters was printed because the engine that makes 1/1s and draws cards tends to lose to the thing that kills 1/1s when your opponent draws cards. But we got both, and one of the best answers to Bowmaster is Bowmaster. Between our 4 Bowmasters and 4 Reanimates, we got 8 Bowmasters in the deck, in a way of speaking. Ball Therapy, very cool, with Bowmasters that can crank out a token turn after turn. The Orc Army also charges Staff of the Storyteller for... There's a lot of cool engines going on here, no doubt about it. We are going to have to squeeze our opponents pretty hard. I feel like I would like combo matchups in this deck, and I could see control matchups being okay too, because we have so much discard and so much recursion and our own card advantage. I'm kind of concerned about everything in the middle, but well, all we can do is play it out, see how it shakes out. This is Rob's take on Esper Bowmasters. Let's do it. We're on the draw in round 1, and well, remember how I said we're a Bowmaster deck? There's certainly several of them in this hand. I wish we had a blue card to go with Force of Will, but I am going to keep this and see how it all shakes out. We're going to have to Cabal Therapy based on an opening 1-drop. Unless we get Chalice, then we're just not doing anything. Oh dear. Okay, Sphere of Resistance resolves. Don't care for that, but let's see where it goes. I can Force of Will here. I can pay the 1 and pitch Brainstorm. Expedition map. Okay, so are we Sphere lands then? Oh, that was your land drop. Or you don't have a land drop, you kept on the strength of this. Okay. What do I think is about to happen? What do you keep in your hand? Like, I don't want to Cabal Therapy Loam. Do I Cabal Therapy Exploration? Crop Rotation? I think it's Crop Rotation, actually. Cabal Therapy. I'm going to name Crop Rotation. But we'll see what they're actually doing over there. Heck yeah, got him. All 3 of the cards that I said are in the hand. Exploration, Crop Rotation, and Life from the Loam are there. Not that I'm excited to see those things necessarily. And I see why they kept the hand. The double Sphere start, if they had hit the land drop on turn 2, they lock out most opponents. It kind of looks like they need to map for a fetch land and then fetch to get Loam going. And oh no, they found it. They even found freaking Ghost Quarter. Give me a break. Ugh. Play around Wasteland, just get pummeled by Ghost Quarter. Whatever. I can knock the Exploration out of their hand at least. Can't Bowmasters with the mana that I have. Exploration, I'll take that. Your hand is 2 Loams now. There are 4 basics in the deck, so Ghost Quarter is actually not a big deal until they start loaming it, and they need green mana to start doing that, and loam costs 4, and they could just draw Urza Saga off the top. I don't think we're winning this game. What even is my plan here? Let's look at the deck list. We can't outgrind this. We don't have wastelands of our own. There's no cheese button like Echo of Eons or whatever to 14 them with these Bowmasters. Are unlikely to draw a lot of cards of their own. We're drawing up Yavimaya. Howard. Okay, I'm gonna Bowmaster in the end step. Oh, 4 mana for this one. Feels bad. Deal 1 to you. Prismatic Ending. I can use this to grind my way through the spheres or grind my way through the saga and what it poops out. I think I gotta save it for the saga objects. Because with the spheres around, these are already huge. We might have been able to tempo through this if they had worked on that mana on the turn they drew Ghost Quarter, if they had to use Expedition Map to get anything going. We might have had a chance here if they tap Ancient Tomb a few too many times. I knew about the Pithing Needle, I just didn't fetch because I have the black anyway. And with them with Ghost Quarter in play, they have Yavimaya. And with them with Ghost Quarter in play, I don't want to hang out my planes. It's actually funny because just the other day, in the comments of this very channel, someone was like, you always talk about playing around Pithing Needle, and I've never seen it done. Yeah, that's because I play around it. If you don't play around it, it gets done. Look at what just happened. Luckily, I'm not worried about it here. It does turn off the white, but I couldn't afford to fetch into Ghost Quarter. I think I have to just let this go. Onder costs 1 million mana. Still gonna cast it. Oh, yuck. Okay, get rid of all these cards I can't play. And end up with a Grief back. And this is where they start loaming. If that Force of Negation was on, I might have kept it, but they have double loam anyway. Force costs 2 plus pitch. Oh, they're GQing their own Yavimaya. That makes sense because they can loam it back anyway and turn off my mana. But they're going to have to tap Ancient Tomb or tap out of Rishadan Port to loam this turn. Found another exploration since the last time I checked their hand. Attacking me for 10. I'm just going to take it. Like, there's no universe where blocking wins me this game. Okay, looking for the white source. White card. All right. Punished for my cleverness around the Pithing Needle, but they had Ghost Quarter. What am I supposed to do? I guess fetch Tundra and hope they don't have Wasteland. Absolute disaster of a matchup here. A deck that does not draw cards and doesn't respect Raise the Alarm. They do have a bunch of artifacts. They have a bunch of constructs. They didn't actually see any white cards out of me that game. Played around it perfectly. Force of Negation hits loam. I think Cabal Therapy mostly sucks, which is a shame because it's kind of a core construction of the deck. But that's what you earn when you play anti-magic the way Lands does. Grief? I think Grief's better than Therapy. Yeah, I'm going 0 on Therapy. Getting low on black cards is a bitch to Grief, though, which is a source of tension, to be sure. Swords to Plowshares insulates against Merit Lage, but I can't beat an opponent who I give 20 life to anyway. I'll leave 1 in for an emergency, but I don't think that's really what the game's about. Staff of the Storyteller is a non-boat with Kataki. This actually just feels horrendous across the board. I think maybe Force of Will goes. Does Plague Engineer do anything? We can name Construct, but that barely matters. It is black for Grief. Alright, I'm just going in like this. Okay, I'm going to keep my hand. I fire off a Ponder to get us started here. Force of Will, Prismatic Ending. I do like both of those cards in this position. I'm going to need another land eventually, but we'll find it. Wasteland, played around it. Pithing Needle, they're going to name Flooded Strand again. Heckin' Psycho. Blow me out with it. Ridiculous. Okay. Well, moment of truth. And we've lost. Great. Yeah, to the commenter who was like, I've never seen anyone put a needle land. Shut up. Here you go. Are you happy? Sick maniac. Okay, I'm gonna grief my opponent because they have nothing better going on. I have to survive a brainstorm lock now. Dark Depths, Thespian Stage, Urza Saga, Light from the Loam. Great. I'm literally dead before I can even do anything. All right, the game is over. Yeah, that Pithing Needle. I mean, in the blind, sometimes it's right to name fetch land when you got nothing else going on. You didn't see a better target. 50-50 to just straight up miss on the fetch lands that are in the deck. And I also just have 16 lands that are not Flooded Strand that we could play the game on. But that did spike. It did work. I don't recommend that play, but sometimes you get away with it. On to the next round. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there. On the draw for round 2, I cannot pitch Force of Will, and I'm missing a black card to reanimate Grief. I'm still going to keep this hand. It has enough pieces in the right spots that it's worth the spec here, not knowing the matchup. Opponent's Flooded Stranding. It's nice when you're able to do that. Preordain. Some kind of combo deck. Either that or a control deck using Council's Deliberation. More likely combo, though. Hey, we got there. Refia. Force of Will. Pitching Force of Will. Okay. Refia again. Let's find out if you're a Dazed deck. Did we get 3 cards, or are we getting Dazed? Okie dokie. Emrakul and Sneak Attack in the grip. I could strip the Brainstorm. If I do that, I lose to Show and Tell off the top. They were smart to force this. If I could take 2 cards, that makes life a lot easier. I think I have to take Emrakul. Because Emrakul is the one that kills me outright if they top deck Show and Tell, ever. I don't like a Sneak Attack just sitting in play, but they would need a red source and another turn to develop before that can come down. Ugh, sheesh. When they preordain top bottom, they don't know. They are drawing random. If they draw Show and Tell off the top, it would be a 4-outer out of a 51 card deck. But they just bottomed a card that's probably not Show and Tell, so it's more of a 4-outer out of a 50 card deck. Slightly better, but still stuck. So there's no world that I take Sneak Attack here, because if what I'm worried about if by taking Brainstorm is Show and Tell, then they still have the Emrakul if they take Sneak Attack. If I take Emrakul, then they need to find another monster, but they have Brainstorm to help them do it. They have more looks at more monsters if I take Emrakul and leave them Brainstorm than they have Raw Dog Show and Tells if I take Brainstorm. I'm going to take Brainstorm here. Some percentage of the time we just die. But a blue card insulates with the Force of Will. And let's just hope we dodge for a little bit. I'm quitting Magic. I'm done. I'm off. Great. Did all that for nothing. Do I even have an out to this in the deck? There's no Teferi. There's no... Nope, nothing. Okay, cool. Well, there's that. That was a random draw out of 50 cards. Good game, I guess. Containment Priest comes in. Hydroblast comes in. I like Surgical in decks with discard spells against Show and Tell. Prismatic Ending, pretty bad. Sometimes they have Defense Grid, but discard is more my plan than counterspells anyway. Swords to Plowshares can chill. Sometimes they juke onto creatures. They frequently don't, though. Staff of the Storyteller, kind of mid here. Hydroblast only hits Sneak Attack, so I can back off that now that I'm out of cuts. I like Therapy, Reanimate, Bowmaster, forces the Griefs. Okay, here's the plan. Let's do it. I'll keep this mono Force of Will hand. Full house. Woof. Leyline of Sanctity. Well, glad my hand doesn't currently have discard. They mulled to 6 and they have a Leyline of Sanctity. 5-card hand here to beat Triple Force of Will. But I can't grief them. I can't target them with BOWMASTERS. This is not a permanent I can remove. You have Defense Grid too. Just want to put the nail in the coffin. Play Underground Sea and pass here. No need to brainstorm into with Cabal Therapy here. Lotus Petal. Lotus Petal. I'm going to force pitching Force. And then I'll force pitching Brainstorm if I need to follow up. There are Hydroblasts in my deck. I guess I'll Brainstorm first. See if I can save this Force. Okay, no love there, but the Surgical is pretty nice. Wall Therapy, Stone Blank. All right, I'm going to force the Show and Tell. Okay, that's handled. I can extract Show and Tells in their next draw step. I am going to pay the iron price of mana. Grizzlebrand, Preordain. So deck full of handful of uncastables. 3 defense grids are in the deck. Archons, 3 ley lines total. They have to sneak attack me, but they just need some red to get that going. Okay, now I have to win the game somehow before they draw 2 mana sources. Therapy doesn't work. I think as soon as they find blue mana, I'm in massive trouble. Another Surgical. Is that actually good? I don't think so. Not yet. We're in trouble. There's the Preordain. Bottomed. I'll take that. Okay, I'm at the magical 4 mana. I can start casting Grief as 3/2 menace for 4 when I draw them. There's not a good target for Surgical here. It's just not a thing. And then we're getting Grizzled next turn. Okay. Bowmaster is a reasonable draw that makes Grizzlebrand quite a bit worse. Come on, Bowmaster. Alright, I spiked the Fun of Swords to Plowshares. I might want to exile Lotus Petal. How many of those do they have left? Okay, here's the deck that we saw. There are 2 Lotus Petals left in the deck. There are 2 Flooded Strands. I'm just trying to see how I can cut them off of a red source. As if I can get Grizzlebrand in the graveyard where it can be reanimated, that's pretty interesting to me. Alright, I'm going to extract Lotus Petals. See if I can weather 1 monster worth of Storm this turn. Brainstorm. Alright, I'm taking 22. I don't know about you. That was a kicking. Just when you're all in on a plan like Discard and Scam, I mean, if they didn't have Leyline, we would have had Grizzlebrand in play 2 turns ago, and they would be doing nothing, but instead, solid sideboard option here. This has been quick so far. I hope we line up better against the next one.
You come here to level up at Magic. To level up as a software engineer, check out the new YouTube series Dev Better, hosted by the founder of 7 Factor Software and Magic player, Jeremy Duvall. 7 Factor's small teams of high-performing engineers build custom mobile apps, APIs, and highly scalable systems for Fortune 500 companies and ambitious startups with great ideas. If you'd like to hire 7 Factor, or maybe join their team, contact them through their website at 7factor.io. And don't forget to subscribe to 7 Factor's YouTube for every episode of Dev Better.
I'm on the draw in round 3 with a mono plow hand, no black mana. Got a mulligan this. This just doesn't have the velocity this deck needs to function. This one I can keep. I think I'm going to send Basic Swamp and then keep all my spells and figure it out. Ignoble Hierarch. Okay, the mono plow hand probably was going to be good. I'm going to Prismatic Ending this thing off of a Tundra. This could be Cradle Control, the Newton Elves deck. Could be Food Chain Goblins. Don't have a lot of information yet. Though I don't think Food Chain Goblin plays very many basic forests. Wasteland Tilt. Okay, we're just a multi-hierarch deck. I don't know what this is, but that Wasteland was bad for me. I can Ponder now. About to say I'd love to see black card plus Reanimate in this Ponder. Didn't find that. I did find a black card. I could Cabal Therapy them now to see what they're working with and then set up Plow or Staff next turn. Yeah, I'm going to stack Brainstorm on top. I'm going to grief them. Unlike the modern scam decks, anytime I draw a reanimate is fine. You don't need to execute the whole thing all at once. Like a flicker effect. Oof, and Bowmasters and another Wasteland. Okay. Well, Collector, both of these cards just ruined my life. There is a Swords to Plowshares on top, though. Leave you with the Collector Oof. Okay, Swords to Plowshares, which can only be cast off of non-basic lands into this Wasteland. Is this Maverick, then? Dark Maverick? A deck that I featured on the channel recently? That must be what's going on. Tagging me for 1 after getting the Oof around. I would love to brainstorm into basic planes here. Come on, Flooded Strand. We did it. Put back Underground Sea and Cabal Therapy. And I guess I'll pass for now. I don't think they're going to oppo me in game 1. Here's the Wasteland. I'm going to plow in response to Exalted Trigger. There's a reasonable argument to take 3 and make sure you don't get Knight of the Reliquaried in second main. But I really need the Staff of the Storyteller regardless. And the Oof is messing that up for me. Endurance, okay. This makes Reanimate bad. Interesting that they would main phase it. I guess if they're worried about Murktide Regent, you would main phase it. Could have gotten a tasty little Reanimate blowout, though. Alright, I'm gonna get Basic Swamp and kill the Noble Hierarch. That will cut them off white, cut them off Zenith for 3. Leave this Wasteland stranded. Okay, I have a draw engine in my hand, albeit a slow one. They have slightly more power and life than me, but we are in kind of a top deck card drawing competition right now. That doesn't make white. It does attack more. I can block with a Work Army here. This isn't really a deck that draws cards. Absorbing 4 damage. Actual Raise the Alarm. I'll take it. Okay. I can draw a card here. It will cost me the land I used to do it, but I suspect that's worth it. Probably should have attacked with Bowmasters there. I'm not going to block. I am going to block with Spirit Token, though. Okay, please don't have a Bowmaster. Tundra and Scrubland. Doesn't really matter. They're all wasteable. Medic Ending. Cool. That kills Endurance. Still haven't wasted me. Wild. Okay. It gives me room to brainstorm here in the main phase. Bowmaster, Grief, Force of Will. Well, I can't cast this Grief. Can't cast any of these cards. I'll float the Force of Will on top. And the Endurance. They can fetch Dryad Arbor and get a trade here. I don't want to offer that. I can pick off Dryad Arbor with the other Bowmasters next turn, and then that makes a staff token. Charges the staff. They didn't get Dryad Arbor, just a normal land. And I have a little engine here that can pick off this X1, or if they play a different one, and then draw a card, but they are in a position where any Greenstone Zenith, any Knight of the Reliquary, they have better draws than I do. I will draw cards better than them, though, and we'll see how it shakes out. There it is. The Zenith for 3. Grist. Interesting. I'm going to kill the Insect and then attack Grist. Just try to work on this. Brief is the top card of my deck. We have seen Bowmasters. I'm just going to put it in my hand, even though I know it's not good right now. But getting this 1 point through doesn't seem very important. Honestly, everything about this deck so far has seemed pretty anemic. We'll take another look at it when the league is done, and we still have 2.5 more matches for it to show us what it can do. Questing Beast, cool. That's unblockable. Yeah, this is the spot that I was worried about. In the deck tech, seems like we'd be soft against mid-range decks that just have high card quality. Like, if your opponent's not drawing cards, Orcish Bowmaster is not good. We've picked off 3 1-drops, made 3 extra bodies, and still this card is like, yeah, whatever. I'm not attacking anyway, so I'll go for the Hierarch this time. I'm gonna take my redraw. Oh, right, you don't even get a redraw. I needed to attack with Orc Army first. Just get a chump block. Wow, okay, yep. I'll take the L on that one. That was me. I needed to attack Grist for 1. Just let the army die, because you don't actually get a second token, and that matters a lot here. Taking 4 down to 6. Reanimate with me at 6 life. That's the perfect number. Is there anything? I could get a 4th Bowmasters into play, which we've already determined is not helpful. And then die. Okay. Alright, tough run with that one. Getting our first land drop wasted was tough. And I mulliganed a hand that was just mono Source of Plowshares, and turns out that would have been good. I like things that kill creatures. Don't like things that don't kill creatures. Ball Therapy, I believe, to be medium. Kind of awkward to have Containment Priest in your Reanimate deck, but they have Green Sun Zenith, sort of. I got this one, you got this one. Let's see who does worse playing around it, I guess. I don't want 0 Force of Will, but I can go fewer, and maybe Dress Down is actively just bad. Okay. I thought about Dress Down, but I don't think it's going to make the cut. Oh dear. Got a mulligan this one. I will keep this one. And put Snapcaster. No, Reanimate to the bottom. And now we have the awful squeeze of fetching a basic versus having access to white. I'm fetching the basic though. Immediately 2 uncastable spells and 1 that hurts to cast. I gotta shuffle this away. Got it anyway. Motobug. Bowmaster does line up well at this phase of the game. Kill your mana dork. That feels good. It doesn't feel good when it's Knight of the Reliquary and Questing Beast, though. Finding Ponder is also nice, even if they waste me, I'll have some action next turn. Except now they're showing me Bowmaster. Alright, whatever. Ponder. I have Force of Will if I'm worried about Bowmaster. This really stinks how much we care about Bowmaster. I would rather be a deck that doesn't care about it, but we really have nothing else going on and we lose our whole squad here. I don't think I can let them just ping here. But force losing Snapcaster, but Snapcaster would be picking up cantrip anyway and then dying. Really bad spot to be in. There's the Swords of Plowshares that I would have liked used to answer that. Can I keep Grief Plow? Is that a game plan? I'm going to try it. I'm going to Grief them. I have 2 removal spells lined up for the next 2 turns. If their hand is just 5 3-drops, we're in trouble. Okay, I'm going to take the Zenith. There is a Wasteland there, so I can't play the Tundra. It would actually be great if they Wasteland my C. Nope, didn't fall for it. They're going to play out all their stuff. Or they drew a busted 3-drop. Artisan is 3/3 Hierarch. Wasteland mystery card in the hand. It was smart of them to build out their resources rather than try to constrict mine. I am clearly not really doing anything here. I also would have preferred that to be Prismatic Ending. Stacked that a little backwards. They have the Wasteland and they're tapping 4 mana for something. The Questing Beast, the unbeatable Questing Beast, is back. And because I sequenced my Ponder backwards, I'm not even drawing live to... I mean, obviously this turn's a brick. Next turn is like I could have Plow in my hand now. And just be any white source gets me back in. But instead I don't. What we're learning here is that Orcish Bowmaster sucks in limited. Which is true. If your opponent is refusing to engage in a legacy game of Magic, the way that Maverick does, that's kind of their whole thing, then your legacy cards don't line up well some of the time. Immediately punished for sequencing the setup wrong. And I'm just in the crap here because if I fetch and kill a Hierarch, they attack me to 1. Attack for 5 and I'm at 1. If I don't fetch, they attack me for 6 and then I can't fetch ever. It's better to be at 1. Yuck. We're so dead. This has not gone well. This part of it's definitely on me, though. We could be stable versus 2 Hierarchs. Still can't block. You have the Bowmaster, just poke me for 1. Delighted Halfling. And Polluted Delta. Okay, We're dead. Okay, we're getting pummeled here. Let's assess the deck real quick. Mid-league, regroup. Maybe I have to play from ahead. I can't be keeping just lands and cantrips. I need Cabal Therapy plus Flashback ability, some token generator. I need Grief Scam. I need something bigger than what I'm doing. We are not out muscling anyone. We are not out grinding anyone. And what's left after those two things are checked off? Not a whole lot. So we have to be the tempo deck. We have to play from ahead. And that is our mission from here on out. Let's try to turn this thing around.
The Command Tower software by Eminence Gaming is perfect for hosting TCG events. It features easy-to-create event registration for 1v1 and 4-player Swiss structured tournaments. Event management has never been so simple, and it's web-based, so there's no download required. Get access for just $5 at eminence.event/subscribe.
I'm on the draw for round number 4. I have the Cabal Therapy plus Flashback engine that we just talked about, probably needing to keep more aggressively. We're going to be tested on our blind flip capabilities here, or blind hit capabilities. I am going to get Basic Swamp in case this is a Wasteland deck, which has been a huge problem for us so far. I'm just going to name Brainstorm if they don't brainstorm in response. All we know is that it's a blue deck. Spellpierce, Orcish, Bowmasters, Daze, Brazen Bar, Badlands. Okay. Grixis, Delver. I'm just going to play Draw Go against this opponent. If they leave up Bowmaster mana, I'm not going to brainstorm into it. If they leave up all their mana, let's just burn it off. They're a Daze Spellpierce deck. I'm not. They just main phase Bowmaster, though. They got me in the squeeze. Smart. Yeah, if you're not going to engage in a back and forth, tit for tat kind of situation with your Bowmaster, then just put it into play in the main phase. Commit to it. I'm going to play my Bowmaster around Daze next turn. Just passing through another basic. I'm going to pass into their upkeep and zap their Bowmaster then. We're in there. Brazen Borrower, Spellpierce, and Daze don't answer this. Force of Will does. Pitching Brazen Borrower. Okay, you got me. Pitching Brazen Borrower is really interesting. I think Daze and Spellpierce are going to be higher impact than those. There's a Ponder. I suspect that was their draw this turn. Swords of Plowshare is a good one. I'm going to plow their Bowmaster. And I have land number 5 set up. I can just get ahead of this Daze and Pierce. I'm not shoving my Staff of the Storyteller into that. They staked their claim when they pitched the Brazen Borrower over the soft permission, that they want to play a soft permission game, and I don't want to let them do that. Fetching in their upkeep, clearing the Ponder cards. They can keep poking for ones here. I'm going to play Scrubland instead of Flooded Strand because I would rather, if I have to tap out to keep this thing resolving, if they do go Spellpierce Daze on it, then I want to keep my fetch land. If they Spellpierce Daze, though, and then don't have a third Daze, then this is just him to Turok. Yeah, you gotta let me have this. Sauron's Ransom, disappointing. That card's really good. Draw a card in response while they're tapped out. Okay, I'm getting ransomed. And check this out. After probably like 60 of you made comments last time, the reminder text is in parentheses in italics over here. The top pile will be presented face up. I would have put this on the boxes themselves in some sort of intuitive way. But what do I know? Top pile will be presented face up. Do I want Lightning Bolt face up? And then 3 lands? And I think they might take the face down pile anyway. I could separate Lightning Bolt from the fetch lands. And I'm just going to split them like this. Lightning Bolt is face up. And they took the 2 lands. Cool. I'm pretty happy to trade off here. Just let damage stop happening. A Spellpierce Island, 2 mystery cards in their hand. Ooh, we can solve some of these mysteries. Probably name Spellpierce here. 3 days is holy moly. Okay. The coast is clear here to do kind of whatever I want. Within reason. Brainstorm actually good? Is anything good here? They can't Mystic Sanctuary yet. They only have 2 islands. They can do that next turn and rebuy Ransom and then start doing stuff. Yeah, they just draw go. I draw go. I do like this reanimate. Get a Bowmaster back. Immediately flashback Cabal Therapy on days. Get 1 to you. Charges the staff. Cabal Therapy, sack the Orc army. Probably gonna cast 1 or 2 dazes here. Okay. Daze. Get the rest of them. And is Snuff Out and Island. Okay, I like where that is. I'm going to draw with Staff. And now I can get a good Brainstorm in. I don't care about Therapy anymore. I think I want Underground Sea here. Okay, pass the turn. And they didn't play their island last turn or this turn, which makes me wonder if they even have Mystic Sanctuary. I'm going to snap Ponder here. I can deal with a Bowmaster. Or I don't even have Ponder, I have Brainstorm. I can do that on their turn. Doing it on their turn means I don't get the sorcery speed interaction. Still going to go for it. Snap. Target Brainstorm. I can plow the Bowmaster. Another Bowmaster, good stuff. Don't need this Underground Sea, and I can draw Prismatic Ending next turn. Bowmaster in the end step charges the staff. Cool. They just didn't get there after Sauron's Ransom. I'm really surprised about the lack of Mystic Sanctuary that game. A Plague Engineer comes in. Prismatic Ending. Get rid of some of the forces. Hydroblast. In their red for a reason. We saw Lightning Bolt. We gotta assume Dragonzori Channelers in this deck too. I don't think I want to be Force of Willing them at all. And then Cabal Therapy is medium. I want to be grindier and win the Bowmaster game. That's what I think this is about going in. On the draw with a Scam Strat, I'm going to rock it. Opponent also kept 7. DRC. Okay, kind of a wild setup here. I think I'm pitching Plague Engineer. Yeah, pitch Plague Engineer. Use Bowmasters to kill DRC. Alright, Engineer, get out of here. Kind of nice when you have enough black cards to make it work. Brainstorm, Murktide, Ponder, Wasteland. Wasteland's disappointing. I can take both of the cantrips, which will slow down Murktide, but when Murktide shows up, it'll be devastating. I do have Swords of Plowshares in my deck, though. I'm just going to take all the cantrips. They're going to waste me. Their creature is not better than my creature. There's Wasteland. If I Cabal Therapy Murktide Regent, they have Delirium. And then we're just racing. But we're not racing to Murktide Regent, which I like. I'm going to pass. I don't think I should do that. Okay, taking 1 instead of 3 here. There's the island. They did not draw a spell they can play. Come on, land. Come on, land. Yeah, we did it. Okay, I'm going to attack with Grief. They can't Bowmaster here. The only thing they could really have is Daze that I would care about. Underground Sea, pass the turn. I'm going to upkeep this Bowmaster. Alright, floating mana and dazing. They did have Daze. Cannot pay. Ah, shit, that's going to get them Murktide and Delirium. And we're suddenly behind. They attack first to get their 3, then Murktide, they lose Delirium. I am a Swords of Plowshares deck, but I gotta find it. Oh, they didn't Murktide. Interesting. Can I draw a land, please? Oh, I like that one too. You gonna Lightning Bolt me? I don't know, I'm gonna attack. That's definitely happening. And then I'm gonna Cabal Therapy, naming Murktide Regent. Didn't come into play. Let's make sure it doesn't. Murktide Regent Ponder is the hand. Ponder Volk. I can just plow this thing right now while the getting's good. That gives up on my answer to Murktide Regent if they ponder into a second one. That's like a later problem at the expense of now. I think I'm going to save this for a Murktide. Here's the Ponder and the Surveil. You see a lot of cards. Did not shuffle. Found black mana. One mystery card in hand. Could be Bowmasters at this point. Another therapy. Cool. I mean, still not good. Land would have been my best draw there. Bowmaster lines up extremely well against Staff of the Storyteller in a variety of ways. Problem with therapy is if they Bowmaster in response, then I get nothing. I'm still going to fire it. Yep. Obviously. Well, at least we flushed it out. I will get rid of it. Then name Volcanic Island with Cabal Therapy. Got him. What's the closest thing to Volcanic Island I can name? Volcanic Hammer. H-I. Bang. Close. I was pretty close. You got to give me that. Now I'm dead in one hit. They're brainstorming, kept the card, dead to lightning bolt. Yeah, they were like one resource ahead of me this whole game. The third land they have, when I only had 2 on 3 lands, I could have done double spells. Also Cabal Therapy, just really bad top deck in the mid game, and I did it 3 times. Not great. There are no additional answers to creatures in the sideboard. I have all those in already. I even boarded out a Cabal Therapy. Look what we've done here. We used to be a country. Okay, putting my cards back in. The same ones. On the play, my hand can cast Brainstorm and Ponder off of a basic. I have a removal spell. I'm going to try not to get wasted this game. That's been such a bummer recently. I think I actually should have played Ponder off the Tundra, just let them waste me. Okay, I have access to basic planes now if I want it. Or I can just lean into non-basics now. Now that I've already wasted a fetch on a basic. Ponder, cool. The fact that they have days and I don't, versus I have basics and they don't, is... We're exchanging some interesting stuff back and forth here. Chose to shuffle that Ponder. I am going to brainstorm here. See what I can shake out of here. 2 reanimates is what I shook out. I don't think I want those. Going to put them away. And this draw is unfolding in the exact inside-out version that I would have liked. You want to draw your removal spells early, then start dropping your threats. I got this handful of threats that have not been testing the opponent's hand with discard, and then once we go back and forth a little bit on my threats and their answers, I'm going to start drawing discard when their hand doesn't have anything in it anymore. They found Polluted Delta with their Brainstorm. Do I want access to black at the cost of Wasteland? I guess so. Gotta take it. Okay. Handful of stuff. Go. They fetch, I'm gonna Bowmaster. Like at any time. Probably should have just main phased it. They do have Wasteland, naturally. Putting my Bowmaster down first feels bad. Firing off their Brainstorm. Yeah, if I had just main phased this thing like I was supposed to. We're in. To be determined if this is even good, but we're in. I can counter Lightning Bolt with Hydroblast. Finding another land here was pretty great. We've seen Spell Pierce. Yeah, maybe I just run the Tundra out and worry about cantripping and finding black later. Fetching in their upkeep. Another Wasteland. Come on, take it easy. I'll float blue and then just pass. I'm not going to Brainstorm here. So I guess I have the plow if they have Bowmaster. Yeah, fine. This Brainstorm's not getting better. Yep, no shit. And let's see if they also have Force of Will on my plow and just send me to hell. Yep, they sure do. Cool, we're dead. Yeah, did I do that bad? What happened there? They had 2 Wastelands, and I fetched the basic that I could. I guess I could have gotten basic planes with the other, but then this orc wouldn't even be in play to have this exchange over. Maybe I'm a little surprised that Force of Will is still in their deck. Maybe I shouldn't be. And hope to whatever deity you believe in, they don't have days right now. I will scoop on the spot to a days. Just saying. Still in trouble with this 4/4. Cool. All right. Well, we're brainstorm locked and dead. I don't know if that's a deck construction issue, a sequencing issue from me, they had 2 wastelands and I couldn't work around it no matter what I did issue. Maybe this deck shouldn't have any basic lands in it. Let's look at that real quick. We have 4 basics in this deck, and I understand the appeal to want to set up a mid game where you have all your colors and you can do stuff, but it's at the expense of the early game. Because by fetching the 1 island and then I naturally drew a 2nd island, I only had access to 1 black source for that whole game. And they were able to waste that and turn off the Bowmaster and the Lake Engineer in my hand with a single wasteland. Yeah, if we're a 20 land deck trying to play this fast of a game, I think you should play 0 basic lands. Maybe 1 island so you can Hydroblast your way out of a Blood Moon. But I think that the 2nd island, the Plains and the Swamp, should just be more fetch lands. Just make sure your mana is always perfect. Make sure you can always cast the spells that you have, because we're not really capable of playing a long, grindy game. This isn't Jeskai control. There's no Wandering Emperor. There's no Shark Typhoon. What are we saving up these basics for? The basics don't cast Grief. The basics don't play and activate Staff of the Storyteller. Like, our basic spread doesn't even cover all the things it could. If we want to be a back to basics deck, that's a direction you could take this, but I think right now we're kind of stuck in between and confused. Like, are we a mid-range blue deck that wants to get basics under it and take over fair and square in the mid game, or are we a Grief Scam deck? All questions to be answered later. Right now, I think we're neither. For the absolute best Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, check out the link in the video description to coalesceapparel.shop, and be sure to use the code BoshNRoll for 10% off when you check out. On the draw in the final round, 0 for 5 on die rolls, in addition to everything else that's gone wrong this league. My opponent's on a multi-6. I do have Force, blue card, and both of my 2-drop engines. And this is where I just get kind of stuck on this deck. Am I supposed to mulligan for Cabal Therapy or Grief Scam? Or are we a mid-range Esper deck? We've kind of proven we're not very good at that. But this is the first double staff situation. And I guess I'm keeping, though I'm not excited about it. Can we just get a quick, ugly, corny win against Oops All Spells or something? That'd be great. Alta Whispers. Okay, Saga Storm. We're getting duressed. Shit, we're dead. Never seen this art of duress before. Is this person under duress, or is it creating duress? I don't know, it seems pretty stoked. Doesn't seem under duress at all. Took the Force. Oh, we are playing against Black Saga Storm. We'll see if we can get a corny win, or if we're just dead on turn 1. With 1 card left in hand, what can they do here? Just invest a Wishclaw for next turn. They could Echo of Aeons next turn. Can I just draw Force of Will, please? Nope, no chance. Okay, black's going to be more important than white for this matchup. Ponder, do I shuffle? Or do I take... I mean, shuffle to try to find Force, or just take the land and play the game? Okay. I'm going to take the land and play the game. They currently have 4 mana post Wishclaw. They could Echo Aeons and just reset both of us, and I get Wishclaw Talisman. They can't gnaw us from here unless they draw mana source. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess that's not a lot to ask. Keeping the Ponder, though, hopefully a show of strength that gives them some pause, but they know my hand is full of Bowmasters, so they can't wait forever. Thoughtseize, okay. That doesn't actually do anything. They're going to take Ponder, though. Yep, there it goes. I'm going to play the land that they know about. And I'm going to fetch a Tundra and pass. I still think Bowmaster will do more for me than Staff of the Storyteller. There's some universe where it might be helpful. Duress. Alright, you get a Staff of the Storyteller. Yeah, they are stuck just 1 mana short of where they need to be to start nosing, and now I'm going to have a clock in play. Things need a 17. Brainstorm's pretty good. I'm going to cast my other Bowmasters. They don't play cantrips, not in the traditional sense, so getting the extra damage now because my army gets bigger is worth doing. All I'm trying to do now is soften them up for the Naws. Hope they brick on Mana Source for another turn. Play another Duress. Play a Thoughtseize, that's even better. Infernal Tutor. A down and dirty Infernal Tutor. Naturally Hellbent. They can't Echo Evians. They can Naws now. Yep. Okay. This is 6 mana to activate Naws. I can Brainstorm and hope to hit exactly Force Blue card here. And it's a game-winning line if it works. I'm going to do it. Play to your outs. They're always waiting. Splat. Now we win. I don't think they can come back from this. Another Bowmaster. I'm not giving them their talisman back. They have 1 black mana with which to play the game and 0 cards in their hand. All right, here we go. There are a number of patterns and tropes on the BoshNRoll channel. One of them is we frequently 4-1 losing to Reanimator, and one of them is we frequently 1-4 beating Storm. And let's hope that I can deliver on the pattern here. Surgical, not great, but does work with the discard. I'm replacing Swords to Plowshares with Rest Down. Prismatic Ending actually does matter against Saga Storm. They store up so many resources in play. Wall Therapy is interesting. I'm off Surgical. I changed my mind. I just don't even want anything to do with that card. Wall Therapy is black density for Grief, which I do like. Staff of the Storyteller seems slow and awful. And also a bad combo with Kataki. Cutting all the plows gets got by a juke. If they juke into Bowmasters or Oppo or Dothy Voidwalker. I don't think they usually do that, though. That's more of a Reanimator trick. Saga Storm already has that juke in the main in their Urza Sagas. Okay, I can Grief my opponent if I get a turn. If they Thoughtseize or Duress me, I can Ponder into a black card for Grief. I'm going to keep. It's disruptive, and it has some choices. If we get turn 1'd, we get turn 1'd. Opponent's on 6. Ancient Tomb. Expedition Map. Cool. Lotus Petal. Also cool. Thoughtseize. Less cool. 2 cards left in hand over there. Though if they're on the Saga strat, griefing them might not even be good. Yeah, they have 1 card left in their hand. Okay. Well, I can grief them and have nothing. I can Cabal Therapy them. Hope I choose correctly. I think I name Infernal Tutor. I don't think I want to lose 2 cards to grief here. Infernal Tutor versus Wishclaw Talisman. I'm gonna Infernal Tutor. Dark Ritual. Okay. I was wrong either way. They have a spell that they cannot cast in their hand. They can map for Saga and just start doing that, where Dress Down stabilizes. If I can find it in time, they could map for a black source, so found black source. Interesting. Not interested in Saga. The Expedition map gets a lot worse when you're just playing a land from your hand. Unless there's some tech that I don't know about. That seems like a spot where I would get Saga. Lycosinth Gardens, maybe. You tutor that, you copy LED. Alright, deck. I'm not having fun anymore. Give me a spell. Alright, let's see. Are they a turn behind on the Saga stuff, or are they getting Mycosynth Gardens? Or something my brain cannot comprehend. Saga, yep. Better late than never. I appreciate the reprieve. There it is. Alright, deck. Action. Spells. Something. Prismatic Ending. Okay. It's not nothing. I'm going to end the Lion's Eye Diamond. That's gone. I still have to beat these Saga tokens somehow, but they just got a point smaller, and we just ripped 3 mana away from a possible combo line. Jeez. Okay. Well, I have some polluted deltas. Every single one. Fetch Underground Sea and Tundra and cast Grief here. Brief is smaller and worse than the constructs. Dress Down is in my deck somewhere. I have 7 cantrips left to dig for it. Firing off Dark Ritual, they can use that to activate Construct. There it is. They must just have a land in their hand. Yep, Swamp. A cool looking Swamp. Kudos to that. Casting Ritual there was basically identical to not casting Ritual. Alright, now I want them to draw Thoughtseize. Fire it off. Construct is minimum 5/5 if it wants to be. They could also tutor LED and just go nuts here. If they ripped a Infernal Tutor. Wow, not making a construct here is terrifying. What did you find? Gotta be a tutor. Or just Natty Naws from 12. Pop LED in response. That's pretty good too. Infernal Tutor. Okay, off we go. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They could Peer if Peer is in the main deck. That would be wild against the BOWMASTER deck. Alright, we're just nosing from 14 land drop spent. Got it. It'll push Dark Ritual, Infernal Tutor, LED Opal, Shadow Spear, Dark Ritual. I think they have it here. Tendrils, here too. Can't use this Ancient Tomb. Mox Opal is on. Dark Ritual. Bauble, other Dark Ritual. It'd be pretty hard to mess this up, though I hope they do. It'll push. And they started floating all this mana pre-combat. They could still attack, it's all good. And they don't even need to. Cool. Sometimes you draw 6 lands in a game, and sometimes you don't. Swords to Plowshares, I could bring those in over Staves of the Storyteller just to give a little more respect to the construct plan, but really a single Dress Down ever gives that plenty of respect. Yeah, I'm just going back in. On the play, got all my disruption. I will keep this hand. It contains Dress Down. We've got a chance. I'm gonna ponder, start looking for some interaction. This is not it. Kinda like the second ponder. I think they're more likely to spend time discarding me than they are to just shove a win. Hiding the ponder from their duress this turn. Thoughtseize, go for it. If I were them, I would probably take Dress Down. Snapcaster, cool. Yeah, have that one. Mox Opal. Oh, am I dead? Is it happening? Mox, it might be. Infernal Tutor, that's still just 1 black. Opal's not on. Haywire Might. Straight into my face up, Orcish BOWMASTERS. Yeah, I'll kill that. Okay. I'm going to pick off the Haywire Might, which also turns off Mox Opal. Does gain them 2 life. They're at 20 if they try to Naws. But that's better than I thought we were going to get on that BOWMASTER. It was my intention to just ponder that turn and try to look for force again. But then with 1 card in hand and 2 mana, after giving me a BOWMASTER target, I'm down. Wishclaw, Talisman. Prismatic Endings are in my deck, every single one that I play. Oh, there's more. Are we fatal pushing? What's going on? We are fatal pushing. Neat. Alright. Pretty good turn cycle here. Pondering into Prismatic Ending would be great. Okay, ponder. Let's find the goods. Kataki War's Wage, even better. Straight to the Shadow Realm with you. They can activate Wishclaw in their upkeep. It's during your turn. It's not sorcery speed. I could scrub land to round out my colors. I do have 2 black cards in my hand. Okay. They're not going to have much mana to work with, but they do get to tutor here. Yeah, if this was Null Rod or Stony Silence, the game would be over. Kataki has more text versus 8 cast and that kind of thing. Opponent will have to play this game from here on out with whatever they tutor for plus 1 swamp while they're under attack. It's a tough spot. It's not lights out the way I would like a Null Rod to be. I'm also not sure exactly how this works. If I gain control of this, can they decline and sacrifice my permanent? I guess we're not going to find out. They're letting Mox Opal die. They're keeping Chrome Mox and Talisman. Interesting. Reasonable, but interesting. Yeah, I guess if they give me Wish Claw, I get to do that. And that's barely even in out. Okay, my Bowmaster is going to mess that up. But they are making a wish. They're going to make me pay for the claw. I don't think I can sacrifice permanents that don't belong to me. Because you sacrifice the permanent. I think I probably just accept my removal spell. And let it go to the graveyard. It's time to decide, though. Oh, I guess I could just tutor for force. And be pretty okay with this situation. Yeah, I'm going to tutor for a force here, probably. Make them pay for this thing again. Oh, grief might be better. They just tutored for whatever they think the best card in their deck is. I have multiple Bowmasters. I don't need the third one. Itaki's a legend. Yeah, I think I actually want grief here. And then I'm going to Bowmaster in response to this bobble trigger. Make sure I get my extra points in. Get one from the trigger, one from the army growing. Bobble trigger. Take another one. Peer into the Abyss is off the table because Bowmaster exists. Nas is getting weaker. Not paying for Wish Claw. And it stays in play. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. The rules are the rules. I'm going to grief my opponent. They have two cards in hand. One that they chose on purpose and one they just drew randomly. Let's find out what it is. Ad nauseum. Yeah, I'll take that. Strong dig. They found the duress. They're going to see that I have just dressed down in my hand anyway, so I'll play my land. I was about to start debating whether to play the land or not. Give them perfect information versus make them respect force blue card. But they can't respect anything. And they can just take my dress down anyway. While they lose all their permanents. Though if they tutor for the road and keep Chrome Mox, they don't have black to duress me with. So that's cool. They paid to keep Wish Claw rather than make a wish with it. And they drew Opal, which either pays for itself or dies next turn. They're hellbent with Wish Claw and a very small amount of mana available and Nas already in their graveyard. Replace the dress down immediately. Not that that's helping here. They're clearly not on a Saga plan. Okay. Right back where we were a turn ago. You're at 6. Can't peer, can't Nas. Have to natural tendrils from basically no resources. And dead on board. If you use Opal to make your wish, that saves 1 mana. What just happened? Opal's in the graveyard, but they don't seem to have a mana floating. Did they just accidentally click through that? That was weird. And they paid to keep Wishclaw Talisman again. I understand this is a bad spot. I don't understand what just happened, though. What I do understand is that we're winning the game. Reverse trophy dodged. Okay, so I revisited the deck after round 3 and after round 4. I think this is too deep on the get their hand empty thing. Because sometimes, as we saw, you just don't draw your discard spells in the early turns, despite having 8 of them. Sometimes you don't have a creature laying around. I get that Bowmasters can replace a bunch of creatures and Staff the Storyteller produces extra bodies, but Bowmaster requires the assistance of your opponent to keep making tokens. You don't just get to keep making them. And we saw that come up in a number of matchups where the opponent just either wasn't a cantrip deck or didn't need a cantrip. Reanimate only really gets grief that you're excited about in the matchup or in the deck. And you can do some cool mid-game, like reanimate Snapcaster trigger, target reanimate, and then reanimate something else. That's cool. I think we're just way too fair here, though. And not in, like, the Uro Paradox Zone kind of way. I love that kind of fair. That's fair that goes unfair if you give it enough time. The closest thing to unfair in this deck is a reanimate grief opener. And that's just good. It's not even busted. To revisit this deck, I would probably get lighter or empty on Cabal Therapy. Probably just turn them into 2 Thoughtseizes. And then 2 different cards. I'm trying to think of ways we can make the opponent draw a card if we want to be just a hyper-dedicated Bowmaster deck. Days Undoing doesn't work because it ends the turn before the Bowmaster triggers actually happen. We can't support Echo of Eons here. Yeah, I don't know. This just feels really weak, and we either need to get way lower to the ground, like Death Shadow, or way higher off the ground, like a Jeskai or Band Control deck. And in a world of Minsk and Boo, Fourth Aerolingus, the One Ring, Uro, it's really tough to beat this just sort of medium fair Esper deck. And this is the thing I've been saying. Like, this deck is built pretty heavy to have Bowmaster and protect Bowmaster and reanimate Bowmaster, and very much like, we got 4 Bowmasters, what do we build around it? And Bowmaster just isn't Dreadhorde Arcanist. It's not Ren and 6. It's not Ragavan. This is not a protect the queen strategy. This is a raise the alarm with a Gutshot attached, and then your opponent has to cooperate if you want any more out of that. It's a tool, not a plan. At least in a deck like this. If we go Grixis and get like Winds of Chain in the deck, that's a 1 mana spell that can make Bowmasters pop in a mid game. Like, maybe that's a cool twist on this. Get your opponent hellbent, and then, or not hellbent, but you know, get the interaction out and then wins them for 12 all of a sudden. That's where I'm going to leave this. Esper didn't feel great, not going to lie. No offense, Rob. You saw the games. This was a tough one. We basically got outmuscled by everyone, and the Storm game we won was off the back of a miracle Brainstorm for Force blue card, or else, I mean, we were just 1 Force or 1 blue card away from 0-5ing this league. Fewer Cabal therapies, bigger stuff at the top end. That's where I'm going to leave this. Rob, thank you for sharing it. It's my pleasure to play it. It's not always about winning, it's about discovering. And although all the spells in this deck look pretty good, they did not look good when put together in games. And that's a important bridge for the aspiring Magic player to cross between paper and actual execution. Everybody, thanks for watching. I hope you had fun. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon, and I'll see you next time.